Are you ready to go?
Absolutely. Let's do this.
Welcome, everyone. This is Keep Punching University. My name is Jim Gonsoulin. Very happy to be hosting this from Laurelville, Louisiana, where I'm from. Very excited about our guest tonight, Wendy McGlaun. I want to let you know that this is Keep Punching University. Carrie and Mickey Daigle have been sponsoring this Zoom. First of all, a call and now a Zoom for the last 34 years. Talk about commitment, right? That's one of the things about our business. You'll see people that are involved at the level like Wendy, myself, Carrie, and Mickey have been involved for a number of years, and people don't leave our company. There's reasons why. You hear about that in a few minutes. Wendy's a graduate of the University of Dayton. She's got a degree in management, information systems, and computer science. You might wonder, what's the attraction in our business? You'll hear about that in a few minutes. She and her husband, Jeff, enjoy their, what she calls their lake life in Manitou Beach. Is that right, Wendy?
Manitou Beach, yep.
Manitou Beach, Michigan. They have 6 children together, and they are better known as what she calls the Brady Bunch. Some of you might remember that famous television show. They have, again, 6 children. They're blessed to have had 5 grandchildren since 2015. I know what that's like. We have 7. What a pleasure. So, Wendy, we're very happy to have you as part of our call tonight. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Jim. It's a huge honor to be a part of this call, and I just am grateful for you and Carrie and Mickey and the leadership you've had for so many years with our company. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's get started right away. Wendy, tell us how and why did you choose to join the Juice Plus company as what we now call a partner? Share that with us.
Well, absolutely. Well, I first heard about Juice Plus from a friend, and it made immediate sense to me, both the product and the business side. I really like to refer to Juice Plus as hope in a capsule. I was a single mom at that time, and I was running hard. And you might be able to relate to that. You also might be able to relate, any of you moms out there. Do you ever have any mommy guilt about the nutrition that your kids may or may not be getting? Well, I had enough of that. And when I saw that I could get 30 different fruits and veggies in my kids every single day, I was just like, check that box, say yes. I couldn't say yes fast enough. But I also really had hope to change my family's health legacy of cancer. I had 3 out of my 4 grandparents had cancer and 2 cousins my age. I'll be 60 this year. And when they were both under 30, they both died of cancer, and it was on either side of my family. And I didn't want to sign up for that. Now, we make no guarantees or claims to cure or prevent anything, but this was one of those things that just kind of gave me peace of mind. I was doing something that was in my control. Now, I said yes to the business right away too, because I saw that I could create a 6-figure income with a full benefits package. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but I needed a financial plan B. And when I saw that, I thought, gosh, I could support my kids by myself for the rest of my life if I have to.
That's an awesome decision, Wendy. And a lot of people are on Juice Plus for a while, but you made that decision pretty quick. And I know that research had something to do with that. How important was the research for you?
Yes, the research was very important to me because when I first got started sharing, I thought, I don't have an experience. I don't even really know if this works personally. However, I could rely on the research to trust that it worked because it is that gold standard research, the double-blind, crossover, placebo tested. You can't buy those results. And so I knew that I had something good in my hands and that it was good for me. I had already been taking a bunch of supplements and I had no idea if they were working. And this one just gave me confidence that it was. And this ought to encourage many of you out there who are getting started and saying yes. My whole mindset was, this makes sense to me. It's going to make sense to other people too. And in fact, I got through my first 2 promotion levels and I called my sponsor, Karen Ewald, and I said, what is whole food nutrition? That's how much ignorance on fire I was. I didn't really know the detailed science behind it. It just was that common sense backed by science for me.
Wendy, I'm glad you said that because a lot of people think, it's a nutritional product. I have to see results. You obviously have been very successful. In fact, I understand you celebrated an anniversary recently with regard to Juice Plus.
Yes, 20 years with the company last week, March 12th. Yep. So
that's awesome. So we say this call really is for new people especially. So think about what Wendy said about not necessarily knowing if the product was going to do anything for her. Wendy, how important is it to really look at the fact that it is whole food and you made the decision to get involved in the business based on that and the research?
Well, yeah, to me, it was just important to know that we had resources that I could rely on. I always felt like I've had a doctor in my pocket. Back then, we were sharing cassette tapes. Now we have so many recordings and calls that we can invite people to, that it makes it easy for, you don't have to feel like you're the expert. You can connect people to the people and the resources that will share the story for you. So to me, it just was simple. We get paid to talk to people and to share that hope with people. And so really it's about talking to them and finding out, do they have a problem that we think we can help them solve?
That leads me to my thought when you mentioned about your dad's statement, if you will. Would you share that with us?
Yes. So my dad's retired now, but he was an entrepreneur, and he always said, if people have a problem and you have a solution, you're going to make money. Well, people have a problem. We have never been more sick than we are today. And people also have financial challenges. We can help them earn that extra $200 to $500 a month or more, depending on what they want to do, and really give them hope that their problems aren't going to last forever. We can help them start dreaming again, and that's what I really appreciate.
Wendy, you mentioned when you first got started, you looked at the business and you were in a situation back then where you looked ahead. What did the compensation plan mean to you, and what did you see for yourself and your family?
Well, it was an easy decision to say yes because it was a very low risk investment. It was only $52 to get started. There was no inventory. There were no minimum levels that we had to keep. And so that made sense to me. I just knew that the more people that I shared Juice Plus with, the bigger that my check would be. And so I saw it as an option to design my life. And while I really did see the big vision right off the bat to get to the top of the entire compensation plan, I wasn't really sure I had belief in myself at that time or what I was doing. So what I really appreciated though is that the company has a phenomenal strategy in that first 3 to 6 months that you can get to the highest commission level. It's simple, it's duplicatable, and if you can just plug into that, you're going to be successful, because that's what I focused on. And really, I just knew that if I could teach people to do the same thing, the rest would take care of itself. But what made the most sense to me about that is I knew I wanted to take Juice Plus forever. And as a brand new partner, we earned $30 on that essential fruit, veggie, and berry capsule package. Well, at the highest commission level, you earn $75. So I just would ask you, what makes more sense to you, to earn $30 or $75 on that same box that's going to be shipping every 4 months? So I just made the intentional decision to get to that level, and the rest is history.
And folks, the history says that Wendy's been successful. She's actually what we call a presidential marketing director. She's a member of the 39 Club. That means she's helped 39 other people also be successful in sharing the product. She's had some very distinct honors. She was a 12 Club Rookie of the Year. She was a 12 Club member and 24 Club Member of the Year at the prestigious Elton Awards. We're going to have those coming up next month in Indianapolis. She's really been honored a lot for what she's accomplished. And Wendy, that goes back to your insight in looking at the business right from the start. So apparently you made a good decision back then.
Apparently.
So,
no looking back.
So how has that decision to get started back then using your dad's advice, how has that impacted your life? Wendy, talk about that.
Well, I like to say that it changed my life forever, and it changed my life for the good. My best friends are in this business. And I also just have really appreciated the reliable income that we've been able to create and the time freedom. It gives me options to go and spend it with my kids and grandkids whenever I want. It afforded us the opportunity to buy a lake house, which was on our bucket list. It afforded us the opportunity to make a decision to move closer to my parents so I could help take care of them in the golden years. It's given me some bucket list experiences. I had the opportunity to travel to Australia with my husband through the company and just train all of our partners over there. And that was just a bucket list dream come true as well. And then one of the other things that's been kind of important to me recently, my husband's in corporate America still, and he's had some job transitions over the last couple of years. And what I can tell you is that when he's run into those road bumps, like as you inevitably do in corporate America, we still had my reliable income of Juice Plus that nobody could take away. And in fact, there was no glass ceiling to it. I could make it as large as I wanted. And it pays the mortgage and then some. So it's a real opportunity. And that's what I really want people to understand tonight, that this is something real that they can say yes to.
Wendy, we've been through some interesting times the last 3 or 4 years. So I'll ask you to look ahead, much like you did when you first got involved 20 years ago. You could see the vision. What do you see ahead for the next 4 or 5 years?
Well, what I see is that it's never been a better time to be involved with the Juice Plus company. It's starting from the top down. We've got phenomenal leadership with years, decades of experience with people like Sean Hopkins, and our new leadership in Travis Garza, our new CEO. He's surrounding himself with so many successful people that not only have success in their particular field of IT or marketing, for example, but also in the direct selling industry. So I feel like it's going to really take us to the next level. And then we have this core group of founders members who are the voice of our community back to corporate. And so I've just never seen a better synergy with corporate in the field to really come up with what we know meets the needs of our customers. And of course, our Juice Plus products are so important. And the Tower Gardens, the farming and the sustainability, it's such a great solution. And I also see a huge fit for our new product as being such a relevant market in the marketplace today. So it's just never looked brighter, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll have some news about that in another month or so after we come back from Indianapolis. Folks, our company, when you think about it, Wendy, aren't they innovative to keep looking at products like that for us?
Absolutely. I appreciate that. They keep us relevant.
So I mentioned that this call is also for first-time people. What would you say is something for somebody who's looking at our company for the first time? What would you suggest they consider?
Well, the first thing I would do when I'm talking to somebody new is I would want to try to find out what's important to them. You can create whatever you want in this business and we can guide you to whatever that would be, but I would start asking a lot of questions. And what problems are they trying to solve in their life? What health issues or challenges, or maybe it's just not even a challenge, it might be a health goal that they're trying to achieve, and then connecting them with the appropriate resources. But from a business standpoint, what I like to do is I still love to create vision with that stair step, because that was the thing that caught my attention, that showed that there was a step-by-step method that you could be successful, that you get to set the pace at whatever you want, and that you didn't have to have a glass ceiling for what you wanted to achieve. So I really like to do that, but I like to also help them to start dreaming again. I think people have kind of lost their zest for dreaming, and trying to help them consider, like, what if and why not you?
That's awesome. You mentioned at the beginning about a business of hope. What's it been like for you for 20 years to share that hope with people? And when you see them get it, what's that been like for you?
Well, I think that's probably one of the most rewarding things is when you see other people get the hope. Jay Martin's vision was to build a stable and lasting company to help as many people as possible realize their dreams. He's helped me do that. So I just feel a responsibility to help others do that as well. And also, in the words of Jay Martin, find a buddy. It's always better with a buddy. And when you help other people succeed, you naturally succeed as well. And there's just a win-win situation with our company opportunity.
Wendy, we didn't talk about this before, but I want to ask you, what has the community of Juice Plus, all of our partners, what has that meant to you in growing your business?
Well, I tell you, it's hard to put into words because there have been so many mentors in this business. From my very first boot camp, when I first heard Jackie Beavers and Harriet Sulzer speak, and they spoke life and truth into me and gave me hope that I could create a life of my dreams. There have been some rocky times in my journey, my own personal life journey over a course of 20 years, like there is with anybody. And these people have become my family. They're just a community of people that I know I can rely on as my prayer partners, as my, they stick with me in the good, the bad, and the ugly. And honestly, when things have gotten difficult in my life, it's because of this community that I've been able to just push through and push forward, whether it was personal and or even in my business, because there are ups and downs in the business. That's one of the things, manage your expectations. People are going to say no, and partners won't do what they say they're going to do, but don't let them steal your dreams, because they are worth it. And there's people in this community that want to help you realize them.
You said a real important thing. It's worth it. You went through the effort. We've done that. You had a corporate career. Your husband does also. This is life, but guess what? we put it on the flyer. You get to design your life, and apparently you've done a great job of that.
Well, thank you. I always like to use the phrase, pick your hard. It's hard to be broke. It's hard to juggle a career where you have to leave the house every day, 9 to 5 or then some. And, that was when I was started. My youngest daughter was 4 at the time. She just turned 24, but I was having to put her in daycare, drop her off at 6:45 in the morning and pick her up at 6:30 at night. That was hard. And I didn't want to have to trade that mommy care for daycare. I didn't want to trade dollars for hours anymore. And so to me, it just made sense.
Yeah, Wendy, I can see it in your face, your commitment to really help other people, and apparently you've been very successful at that. If you will, share some insight, what you would recommend to Juice Plus partners who want to build a business. What would you recommend?
Okay, well, there's several things I would recommend. The first of all is be confident. People buy you. If you're not confident in the product, in the business, in the industry, or in yourself, then take yourself to Juice Plus University and get some education. We've got enough resources to build your belief in any of those areas. Okay. The other thing is be consistent. Consistency creates miracles. Okay. You don't have to necessarily carve out hours and hours every single week. Of course, the more you do, the faster you'll go. But these empowered in an hour are really a tool to just simply plug into the income producing activity. And that consistency will create miracles. The other thing is be proactive with your calendar. You want to make sure you're managing your calendar with live events. Live events is where it is at. You want to get those big rock events in first, the 2 leadership conferences, as well as a boot camp and regionals. And then you start plugging in your own personal events. Those in-home events, that's how I built the majority of my business. Those in-home events feed into those bigger events, but they all need to be on the calendar. And so I just really appreciate that. I remember Karen Ewald advising me, like, if you really are in a growth mode, you want to be doing at least 1 event a week. And of course, now with all the Zoom events, we have the opportunity to do even much more than that in a very convenient way. So that's great. I mentioned it before, manage your expectations, discipline those disappointments. Don't let those people steal your dreams. I had a neighbor when I first started out tell me, oh yeah, those things don't ever work out. You're going to end up with an inventory and you won't make any money. Well, I knew I didn't have an inventory and I just didn't believe them. So, believe in yourself and you can make this come true as well. And then really just finding a buddy. It is definitely, I mentioned that earlier as well. It is important to have a buddy to just do this business with. Is it inbuilt accountability. When you've got an accountability partner, you increase your chance of reaching any goal from just over 2% to over 90%. So get somebody that you're accountable with that you can do this business with.
Wendy, you mentioned buddies, you mentioned somebody that you work with. I'll ask you this question. What's the distinction between corporate America in your experience and having a buddy in Juice Plus with regard to not thinking or knowing you have a boss? What's that been like for you?
Well, that's been really freeing for me. And with a boss, you just always feel like you owe somebody something and you're living up to this expectation. And that boss is the one who also sets your salary and manages any of your benefits or bonuses. When we are our own boss, we get to decide how little or how much we make. We don't have to report to anybody. We just get to decide for ourselves what we want to earn. But then you've got that partner in your mentor, and your business partners in your team that are wanting to pour into you and teach you how to be successful. Success leaves clues, and they've gone before you and they want to help you create that same success because, as I mentioned earlier, it's a win-win situation. So, I don't ever have to worry about somebody firing me. I can fire myself and hire myself all in the same day. So, you've got that. But, and then you get to decide how much you want to earn and how much you want to work as well. You get that flexibility.
That's awesome. I'll ask you one more question and then I'll ask for your final thoughts.
Sure.
So you had this idea when you first looked at this, which had you choose the business because you saw an opportunity. How has that worked out for you? Did it come to realization?
Well, it definitely came to the realization. And one of the things that I want to encourage people in this current economy, because I don't think we've talked about that yet, Jim, and I think that that's kind of an important thing that I wanted to bring back around. In the course of 20 years, I've seen a lot of different economic climates in our country. And what I will tell you is that that's the other reason why I feel like now has never been a better time to share Juice Plus. When we have a uncertain economy and or an election year, people are looking for solutions for themselves. If their finances are unstable, they're wanting to stay healthy because they don't want to have to be paying a doctor. So they're investing in their health. They are also looking for solutions to create some additional income streams. And I can tell you, in our last recession between 2008 and 2010 is when I made two of my largest promotions in this company. So our industry thrives in an unstable economy. And it goes back to what I said earlier, is that we've got solutions that can help people with both their health and their wealth and in community. And that community piece, I think, has become really important over the last 3 years because we've been in isolation and people are craving true connection. And we have that, especially in our live events.
That's awesome. Great advice.
Yeah.
So your dad was right.
He was right, as usual. He'll tell you that.
So lesson here, folks, listen to your parents, no matter your age, right?
Yeah.
Wendy, any final comments? Would you share some final comments with us?
Well, I would just say, if you're thinking about this Juice Plus journey, let yourself start dreaming again. I think we've forgotten how to dream. What have you always wanted to create in your life? It's possible when you say yes with the Juice Plus company. And I would just say, embrace your journey. Don't compare it to other people's. This isn't a race. Everybody's journey looks different. I love the quote that David Beavers has shared for years, that this is a lesson in personal growth, cleverly disguised as a business plan. You will grow in this business. The only way to fail is to quit. So stay close to the fire. There are people in your life and in your business that want to help you to succeed. And so definitely make sure you lock arms with them and they will show you the way.
That's awesome. Wendy, you and I have spent some time together the last few days. I saw you on one of these special events we had recently, and I said, I got to reach out to Wendy. She's got a phenomenal story. So thank you for being with us today.